continent, and to you all who are in the diaspora. This is a closing ceremony of the African Union. Um, certain
S'il vous
night.
plaît, Vos Excellences, tout protocole observé.
So,
Veuillez reprendre vos
tonight,
places, s'il vous plaît.
so we're waiting our leaders to enter the room for this closing ceremony of the second night ordinary session of the African Union. Of course, it was started yesterday, and among of the things that we are discussing is the issue of water. African leaders have the issue of water. At the same time,
Vos Excellences, s'il vous plaît, regagnez vos places respectives. Nous arrivons à la cérémonie de clôture, s'il vous plaît.
Mais ce sera une minute.
Comme il veut, il peut rester.
Non, je vais lui dire de venir, il fait une minute, comme ça d'ailleurs les gens vont...
Excellencies, please, can we sit down? Excellencies, s'il vous plaît, rejoignez vos places respectives, s'il vous plaît.
C'est nous qui commencent quand ils sont déjà...
S'il vous plaît, rejoignez vos places respectives.
Please, can you take your place, please? Excellencies, we would like to proceed with the closing session. So please, can you take your seat? Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. We have now come to the end of the 39th session of the AU Assembly. We had very fruitful deliberations, and we also renewed our commitment to the development of our continent. Excellencies, I wish to thank all the participants for their constructive contributions, which attest to our common desire to build an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the singular pleasure of inviting Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and the Chairman of the African Union, to take the floor to deliver his closing remarks. Excellency, you have the floor. Excellencies, heads of state and government, Excellencies, permanent representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I don't have much to say, but all that I can say is to thank you for the work that we've done together. I know that we are all tired, and we are itching to go back to our countries, communities, and families. So, since we've exhausted the item on the agenda, I declare closed the 39th session of the AU Assembly and wish you all Godspeed and safe journey back to your respective countries. I thank the host country, Ethiopia, for receiving us in this beautiful city of Addis Ababa and the capital of our continent. I request the media to remain in this hall for the press conference that the chairperson of the commission and myself will organize very soon. Thank you very much, and may God be with you as you return back to your country. Thank you.
Deux annonces rapidement, s'il vous plaît. La conférence de presse.
Two quick announcements. The press conference will be here for member states who want to remain. They can still do so.
To do, the conference press will be at 4. The conference press will be at 4. So for the one who needs for the lunch, it will be ready. Le déjeuner sera servi comme
Lunch is served as we did yesterday. Those with green invitation cards is multi-purpose hall, and for the white and yellow is multi-purpose hall. So the press conference will take place here at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Excusez-moi encore une fois, la conférence de presse, juste nous sommes en train...
Regarding the press conference, we are carrying out the necessary consultations. For the press conference, we are having consultations, and we shall inform you all the time.
No, the DCP is saying something, the chairperson is saying something, Burundi is saying something.
Après consultation...
After consultations, the press conference will be done immediately. Excellencies, please, the press conference is taking place now.
Amen, Gilles. Il faudra prendre tous les flag names des organes. Je répète, la conférence...
So I repeat, the press conference is taking place here now, please. So, media.
Yes, that is a short story of the African Union. Uh, you know, it looks like jokes, but it's the reality. Um, the chairperson of African Union has said that uh, member, members of the this summit, especially presidents, have been tired. So uh, they have been allowed to go back to their home countries. So that's what is going on. But I wonder, um, 2 days, African leaders are tired, but they spend a lot of time, sometimes resources, to engage with China, to engage with Russia. They spend 4 days, 3 days, um, even 5 days in Europe, in Russia, in China, in America. So for African Union, they have spent 2 days and so tired. This is terrible. This is terrible. And yesterday I shared a video, if you remember. I shared a video of about Africa, I mean Italy, second Italy African summit, where the Prime Minister of Italy came to Addis, engaged with African leaders, and conducted the um, second Italy Africa summit. And they said this very clear that Europeans, they know what they want. They're so tactical. They know very well. They have already studied our characters. They know that within 2 days, African leaders will be tired. So they came first and conducting their meetings, signing some agreements and giving good promises. Then they move away. But their issues have already fulfilled. But today, look, our leaders are already tired. They're going back home. 2 days discussing issues concerning about this continent. Just imagine, we have these are leaders who we want to undo the Berlin Conference. And our leaders sit down for 4 months, the way Europeans sat down in Berlin 1884 to 1885 and strategize how to conquer Africa. If 2 days we have already tired, African leaders are tired, they want to go back home. Of course, we know they have tight schedules and something like that. But what about this issue of Africa? It is very, very important. But we are putting our own interests first than the interest of the continent of Africa. And we think we can move as individuals without moving as a continent. That's the problem that we have. Among of the things that were discussed by our leaders yesterday, say it's about the issue of water. Try to imagine yourself. Till today, Africa is still suffering with shortage of water, clean and safe water. Africa has rivers. If you look at the map of Africa, you can see rivers that we have. Let me find maybe the map of rivers in Africa. Rivers map, map of Africa with rivers. I want to demonstrate something. Today, we are still struggling with the issue of water. African leaders met in Addis talking about the issue of water. Water is still a problem to our continent. While we know we have water bodies, we have uh, lakes, we have oceans, these lakes have fresh water. Why African we are still suffering with shortage of water? While we have water bodies, this is terrible. I try to ask myself, if water is a problem, can we succeed to have sufficient energy? Water is there, we know we have water. If you go to the River Nile, you find water. If you go to the River Zambezi, you find water. If you go to River Niger, or River Congo, we have water. Lake Victoria has water. Lake Nyasa has water, Lake Malawi, Lake all lakes have fresh water, but we are still struggling with water. What about energy? Can we succeed to have energy to power our industries? Those are just the questions that I'm asking myself. So we have failed in many issues because of less commitment. Today, African leaders are talking about water. They want the citizens of Africa to have water. Do you think the water is a problem? Oh, this is another strategy. These Europeans, they know how to play with us. They can come up with projects. They want our money. They put project on the table that how we want to supply what. Sometimes these agendas are not ours. African leaders sometimes learning Western agendas instead of learning African agendas. This is also another problem that we have. So let me take you to here. You see, this is the map of Africa. Look, if you look at the middle here, you find these are big rivers. Apart from those small rivers, these are big rivers. You see River Nile starting from Lake Victoria, passing through Uganda, coming to South Sudan, coming to Ethiopia, coming to Sudan, Egypt. Just a single river is passing through those countries. Come to the River Zambezi, starting with in Zambia, River Zambezi, Zambia, coming to Zimbabwe, I think so, to Namibia. Yeah, certainly we have water. There's no reason for we Africans to cry for water. We have shifted from agenda of industrialization. Now we are talking about water. We are shifted from the agenda of African Continental Free Trade Area. Now we are moving to the agenda of water. Which one we have succeeded? Tell me, brothers and sisters. Which thing we can say, we as Africans, for this, we can say we are satisfied. Energy, still a problem. Roads, infrastructure, still a problem. Peace, still a problem. Food, still a problem. We can't feed ourselves. Now, water, where are we the best? Where are we the best? Where we can say, we as Africans, this is within our capacity. We can perform this. We can do this. Where? It is a shameful thing. Sat in Addis Ababa every year, we repeat the same thing. We repeat the same thing. We said by the year 2020 we have to silence the gun, but today we are 2026. 2026, the gun is still ringing, trying different parts of the continent. Now we are talking about water. Here, the year 2020, 2030, we need to have access of water. I think the agenda of water is not ours. It doesn't make sense that we Africans, we lack water because we have water bodies in the lake, in the Great Lake region. I mean, Central and East Africa, we have Great Lakes, Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Malawi, Lake Natron, Lake York, and many lakes. We have big rivers, as I mentioned them, River Congo, River Nile, River Niger, River Orange, River Zambezi, River Luvuma, and all those rivers have water, fresh water. But today we are coming to Addis to discuss water instead of implementing what we have agreed. So, family, brothers and sisters, um, that's how African leaders have closed the summit. It has shocked many of us. We didn't expect the way they have done. But all in all, the chairperson has said the leaders have been tired, so they need to go back and rest and take rest. And of course, we know that majority of our leaders are old, are too old. If you talk about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, many of them are above 60. So it is very easy for them to be tired. And that's why we are saying we need young generation of leadership. We need leaders who can stand up 5 hours speaking and doing something. We need leaders who can implement ideas. So leaders are too old, too tired, going to Addis, they sleep, some of them, then they say nothing, they come back, they spend that spare money. But all in all, that's the Africa that we have. So, family, brothers and sisters, if you have something to share with us, please do so through the comment section. I want to end here. I'll continue to share good news and more information from the outcomes of this summit. Of course, we know as no new things will happen here because of the nature of our leaders. We know all of them. But all in all, family, African Union is a big shame. African Union is a big shame, brothers and sisters. Um, it is a big shame. They have disappointing us. They have disappointing Africans. You know, another issue maybe before closing. I've seen African leaders when they meet in Moscow, they have opportunity to talk, and the global understand what they're talking about. When leaders are being invited in America, they speak. But at the African Union, I didn't hear African leaders speaking. And that's why sometimes I wonder, what is the role of this African Union? When leaders going to China, when you see China Africa Summit, all African leaders have opportunity to speak, to express their views and to contribute. But to the African Union, first of all, you see the opening ceremony where the chairperson of African Union speak, the commission speak, and the hosting Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali speak. Then after that, it's over. Then next day, of course, they spend 2 days. Next day is a closing. The same issues. They gathered, the chair coming and speaking. African leaders are tired, so let us go back home and we'll continue to communicate. So what is this? What is African Union is this, brothers and sisters? And they're saying they want a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. And the world give us a permanent seat at the UN Security Council with such kind of behavior. Tell me, brothers and sisters, what you see to the African Union? The world can trust us to give us a permanent seat at the UN Security Council where good things are being discussed. So if our own things we cannot discuss, all most people say there are some committees, leaders are engaging in committee. We want to hear, we the citizens, we want to hear our leaders. What are they saying? Tell me what your leaders say about the future of this continent, about AI, about job opportunities. What your leaders have spoken about that. You can see. And we demand equal seats. We demand be included. You know, even those who want to be included, we need to show us the capacity. So it is a big joke, it is disappointment, and sometimes it is disvalue and humiliation. Of course, this is humiliation. It's the humiliation of African people. That leaders, yes, we trust them, we believe on them, but they are not saying what we have been expecting. And that's why I understand leaders such as Traore, Goita, Abraman Chan cannot attend this kind of summits because it's just useless. Okay, the African leaders 8 years are speaking about African Continental Free Trade Area. Have you heard agreement, any kind of agreement that from now onward we are going to have, maybe we are going to start African Continental Free Trade Area? What leaders are saying every now and then, we want to implement, we want to implement, we want to implement. When we will say we have implemented, we have done this, when we will say like that? Oh, we need peace in Democratic Republic of Congo. We are too nice to each other for too long. Let us speak the truth. And let us tell our leaders how we feel. African leaders, you are disappointing us. And all because of disunity. Everyone is busy with their own interests. And of course, we know some of them are being used to distract and sometimes to make sure that things is not going to happen. That's the problem of Africa. So, family, brothers and sisters, let us not speak for too long. Let us not speak too many words so that maybe I can misbehave. But all in all, it has pained me to see that the closing ceremony of the African Union has taken just 2 minutes. And leaders are saying they're tired. They're tired. They're tired. But they spent hours to listen the Prime Minister of Italy at the second Italy Africa Summit. And that's why I said Europeans, they know very well what they want. We Africans, maybe we don't know what we want. So have that. Until then, see you next time.